What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Planetbase. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little bit and continue retrofitting because retro is super popular nowadays. You can't just modern fit everything. Everything has to look retro as well so that all the hipsters and their giant glasses can be happy about the whole thing with their kilts and unicycles. So anyways, welcome on back to Planetbase. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today. There's a missing episode here, so there might be some stuff that I worked on that you will not know about. I will do my best to explain what I did and what I did not do. We got robot factories over here doing their robot thing. We got ourselves a couple more refining plants over here, so we've got metal being made, and then the metal is being turned into semiconductors and some other things that are very nice to have around if you're ever going to have these little robot helpers to make your life easier. I've been focusing on driller bots just because they tend to be that much easier to use, and they free up hands in the land so that I don't have a whole bunch of mans with their hands in the sands. So anyway, I just wanted it to rhyme. That's all that I really wanted. All day long, I deeply and truly wanted that to rhyme. But other than that, if you see anything, shout it out in the comments down below. I will do my best to come by and take a look at the comments and try and answer what my mentality was for doing anything that you notice. You guys are better at noticing little things that I did anyways. I recorded the last batch of episodes like a week ago, and I realized that I forgot to save one of the audio files. And so essentially I've got like 30 minutes of footage of me doing stuff, but there's no audio to it, and it's all messed up. It's like most of this game is maintenance. It's not really like important things happening anyways, so at least it didn't happen in a narrative-driven game. That's the part that I will be thankful for, because if it happens in a narrative game, you're just like, oh my god! I've actually restarted, for the channel, while we're on the subject, I've restarted like 6 hours of gameplay, like from the beginning of the game, to go back around the horn and replay for like one cinematic that I missed when I went through. Like, it's bad. Sometimes you gotta take the hit for YouTube. Sometimes you gotta take the hit for YouTube. But anyways, just got back from my weekend. Chilling, hanging out, playing some Planetbase. It's a good day when it's Planetbase day. Oh good, the biologist finally decided to show up and fix things. Good for you. You're unhappy about it, Steve? Well, what's your name right now? I need to insult you personally. M.W. Cox, what are you, a steel magnate? Fix the machine, bro. Fix the machine. There. Oh, doesn't that sound like somebody that owns like a steel or like an oil company? M.W. Cox and Associates. M.W. Cox and Sons. That does not sound good. Cox and Sons. Never mind. I don't want to talk about this. This channel is PG rated, so we're just going to skip right over it. But if this was my stream, which is R rated, by the way, people talk about the stream and they be like, I don't understand why you swear in your stream. You're so nice on YouTube. You seem like such a nice guy. And then I come to the stream and it's just potty mouth. Just nothing but potty mouth and penis jokes. I'm like, well, it says on the stream, it says for mature viewers only, and I do my best to tell people whenever they ask and be like, well, that's because YouTube is like my job, and I keep it professional there, but then the stream is like after hours. Like, you know when you go and see a comedian at 7 o'clock at night, he'll keep it like kid-friendly, but if you go see a comedian at like 1 in the morning, you know it's gonna be gnarly, and so that's the way that I think of it in my head. But anyways, somebody in the crowd right now, like, oh my god, he thinks he's a comedian. Yeah, there's somebody out there right now getting ready to heckle. He thinks he's a comedian. Kid wrote 4 jokes and thinks he's a comedian. No, I wrote a stupid amount of jokes for this channel. I have like books and notepads just full of jokes that I've written for all this stuff. Like I don't know if people know that I like pre-write some stuff. I don't know. I pre-write them, then I memorize them so I can fire them off later if I have to. Just like general purpose jokes, and then I have jokes with specificity as well. Hey, what's going on? Ooh, look at you bringing in all the workers, although 135, wow, we have a lot of people. I could always use more workers. So anyways, this branch looks okay over here. This branch over here, I'm fighting a Pop-Tart hiccup right now. I just had Pop-Tarts for breakfast, and they're pretty amazing. I was thinking about putting in another bar down in here. I mean, people seem to be... Is he admiring a plant? Like, what is this guy doing right here? Looking at a decorative plant. He woke up today, and that's all that he wanted to do. He got up extra early, like 7 in the morning. Like, you know when your girlfriend wants to go to the zoo? And so you got to get up super early in the morning and then drive to the zoo. And you're kind of like on board about it because you really, really want to see the flamingos. But aside from the flamingos, you're not really interested in anything else. And so mostly you're just hyper-focusing on like waking up really early in the morning and you're just like staring at some shit. I wish you could actually bottle that. I bet you can. I bet there's a drug that does that. So anyways, I wish that you could bottle that stare that you get in the morning when you just woke up and you like stare at stuff and you're basically asleep with your eyes open. That's how I spent like 80% of my time at work when I worked in IT. I get there at 5 in the morning. We're not building anything right now. I should probably make some sort of like progress while I talk. So anyways, I'm going to do a bar real fast. Drop this guy. Oh, look at that. It won't connect right there. Well, that's saddening. I wish that you would. I wish that you would. Oh, man. Now I gotta go around the horn all... No, that was not what I wanted. I clicked. My finger twitched. My finger twitched. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. Oh, look, it can fit right there. Hold on. I can make this work. I can make this work. Goodbye, TV. No one loves you. Shit. I really wish that it wouldn't show both avenues. Like, they need to diversify the system, actually. So what it should do is if it's like this, it should have like a little checkered line that means you can only pick one of the two. And then they should turn like blue or something if you can do both of them, so that you know before you place it. Otherwise, it's just kind of obnoxious. I think this one, it doesn't look like we have the working space anyway, so I may just have to go out like this and make it work. I don't like it. Believe me when I say I don't like it, because that creates one thoroughfare where everybody has to go through in order to go from point A to B. Somebody had asked whether or not I could just build another base, and I think I talked about that in the previous episode. I think. I don't remember. I think I remember talking about it. I think you can, but I've been trying to stay away from it, because let's say that we break off from up here and I just make a new airlock down here and I start working like this way, and I just accept this as a new little city or like a little separate entity. My concern is that I'm constantly going to have astronauts and shit walking in between the two bases, generally just being like, oh, I've got to go all the way here to do my job, and then I got to go all the way back over here to have a beer, even though I already put a tavern down here. I'm a little bit worried that inefficiencies in the AI will kind of cause problems for us right there, and in the middle of solar flares and other things. I'd rather just not deal with it for right now. You know what my favorite building is? I love the personal dormitories. They're all smooth like an egg, and it makes me happy. All the other ones are weird looking. Like, I like the fact that these right here have their own, like, personal exterior. I'm hoping that later on... Sandstorm detected. Okay. This is at the point where somebody would make a Darude joke, right? At some point. You know, I never really understood that entire thing. I never understood that fad because it was about a song that's from, like, hella long ago. Like, super long ago. If the song was, like, current, I'd be like, okay, the meme makes sense. But people making jokes about that, I just don't get that meme. I've looked it up on Know Your Meme and everything, and I'm still just like, yeah, this doesn't seem like it's worth all the jokes that people tell about it. It really seems like... There are some memes that are, like, hilarious. There really are, but this one is not one of them. It's just like, it feels like a low-effort meme to me. It feels just kind of like the shotgun approach. Like, oh, there is Sandstorm. Look, I made a Sandstorm joke. I don't really have a whole lot of building space left around here, but I do feel like we're pretty much doing all the things. Did I do the GM crops? I know I did that in the previous episode, so I bought the GM crop module, and I can make these GM tomatoes. I think I needed to retrofit all these, actually. So let's take you. Yes? Time to die, tomato plant. Now you will die. That one can wait. I'm going to wait till it gets a harvest out. And then what I need to do is we'll go GM tomato pad. Super popular when the girl tomatoes come over. He's like, oh, yeah, it's like the pad from This Means War. That movie was kind of terrible. But anyways, it's like the one that... Who is it? Captain Kirk. He lives down in the pad that's underneath the swimming pool. And so, like, the ceiling of his condo is just like women swimming in a swimming pool all day long. Part of me wonders if they know about that, if they could, like, possibly qualify as some sort of, like, sexual harassment or something. It seems risky moving into that condo. Being the nervous type of individual that I am, it seems very, very risky legally. It seems like you might get some sort of... I just feel like a summons would show up at some point. It's gonna be your fault. And you'd be like, no, the landlord said it was legal. Like, sir, you are responsible for your own knowledge of the law. I'd be like, no, but ignorance of the law. Isn't there a law that's like, if you don't know that a law exists, you can't be charged with it or something like that? I thought that was a law. I feel like that was a law. I'm like, no, that was just a bill. And he sat there at Capitol Hill all goddamn day long, and he never actually became a law. So Schoolhouse Rock lied to you. I used to play Schoolhouse Rock when I was a kid. Oh, good. I think one of my drones, one of my driller drones finally died. We've really got to get better about this. And I guess the goal here would be to put a ton of TVs in right there. And then maybe put in a bar table. I wouldn't hate a water fountain either. That's the secret, kids. That's the secret. If you don't want to be hungover, drink water. I've done a lot of research into drinking. And by doing research into drinking, I mean that I drink a lot. And if you don't want to get a hangover, drink lots of water. It works for me. And also, don't go to sleep drunk. That's the other part. There are two hinges to this particular door. The first is don't go to sleep while you're still drunk. So if you black out or whatever, it means you probably didn't get around to drinking water. and it's probably gonna suck when you wake up in the morning. But usually what I do is I wait until I'm like on the back end of drunk. So you've been drunk and now you're coming down and you're only buzzed. Right about then I usually drink like 2-3 big glasses of water. And then I give it like, honestly, you should just do it throughout the point that you drink too. Like every couple of drinks you have, like every couple of beers you have, you should have a glass of water real fast. Go easy on your kidneys and your liver, because they like water and that's how they flush it out of your system faster. What is going on with this lab over here? Like this lab really feels pointless to me. Recycling, I can't recycle it though, you won't let me. Why won't you let me destroy this? Is it somehow like fundamental to the integrity of the entire base? But I can't do it. Can't do it. That particular, it's 3% on the foundation. If you pull it out, the entire base will collapse from space pressure gases. I'm like, wow, that sounds fancy. Engineers, are they telling the truth? And the engineers just nod. They don't actually know, they just nod. That's all they, yeah, totally, space pressure gases. We're all gonna die. I'm an engineer. Take my opinion for this, because I know stuff about things, obviously. I think that's looking okay over there. I mean, I'm almost out of building space is the big part that I would be concerned about. I may have to build a new base, unless I can get this to loop around really, really well. Trying to decide what I want to do with this here, other than just staring at it. It looks like we have power problems. Is it almost morning? Oh shit. Well, that's not good. We don't have power problems. The wind hasn't been around for like 5 days. Still got a couple of these little bastards over here. Got a sandstorm coming in. Although I will say the one thing from Darude Sandstorm that I thought was funny was that guy playing that little tiny horn. That was pretty funny. He's like some, I don't know, trumpeter, and he's playing this little tiny like toy trumpet that you get from like carnivals, where it's just like a little plastic trumpet. That was pretty funny. That was mildly funny. I think we should make it okay with our power. I mean, we've got a lot of these little thingamadoobies, and now that the wind has come in, we might actually make it out the back end of this without horrible things happening. I'm hoping that lasts. Here, speed the game on up because we got stuff to think about. I'll probably, it looks like our food is still like mostly vertical and going upwards, so that's pretty good. Beers appear to be having trouble, but actually meals look like they're going down. Do we need another cafeteria? So we got a cafeteria right here. That one's doing its best, but I don't think it's going to keep up. How is this one over here doing? That one's fine. And then this one. This one appears to have the biggest throughput, so I'm hoping anyways. Where's all this food vanishing from? Because I don't see a lot of people in like any of our cafeterias. It seems like things are okay at the ones that I looked at. It looks like it might be breaking even, like mostly even. That means sooner or later I'm about to build another one around somewhere. So, now that we have the bar and everything down here, we can make a short hop, skip, and a jump. Like I could do an airlock right here and then do an airlock really, really close so that anybody that has to make the transfer just goes into a really, really small one. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be that big of a deal. What other things have I not really like fiddled with yet? So bioplastics, these are all trucking over here. We got 23 metal, 55 plastic. That's looking good. Food's on a bit of a drop off right now. Since we have so much trading material, I think it might be wise for me to reopen traders. Sort of break off some of these colony ships that I'm getting too. Couple too many colony ships coming through, and I think I'm going to have to deal with that over the long term. So I'm going to connect this to right here. Yeah, you know what? Let's play around with the second base. I know it sounds risky, but I'm going to do it. I think that I am. So we can put this in any number of locations, and that number is 3. I will more than likely just keep this one compact and put it right there. And this will be its own like self-contained thing. Once we get done with this, I'm going to start building a secondary base because it seems like it would be fun. Mines are sort of functioning right now. I really wish they would produce more driller bots, but they take so long to get done. And the guys that actually work on them have this tendency to get them up to like 80% and then just like walk off and go do other things for a while. I really wish people would like finish. See, like I gotta put guards on them, like over here. Make the guard just stand there and hold their pistol handle. Be like, why aren't you working? Why aren't you working, miner? Although we're gonna end up with all kinds of red faction problems, but it'd still be pretty sick. It'd still be pretty sick. So what I want to do now is, let's say that I go in on a new airlock, like over. Oh, look at that! It won't let me do it. Why can't I do a new airlock? Oh, well, look at that. It won't let me do it. Well, don't bring that down here then. This guy over here's like, ah, god damn it. That's the only reason I got up today. Brad, let's go to the bar and get a beer. We don't have time for this. I said, bring the materials down to the south end. The materials. The materials, that's kind of a technical term for materials. They said, bring the materials down to the southern end. I brought them down here after I had my... Oh, God. I brought them down here after I had my beer. And then they just canceled the job on me. I think... Actually, our power looks okay. I think it's just because we got screwed on... Wow, we have a lot of food. I hope a trader comes through soon so that I can sell off some of these goodies. Yeah, it appears as though I'm stuck. And so now I got to figure out how I'm going to do a transfer in between areas. I suppose we'll just make it happen over here. The same way we were going to before. And so the way that I guess personally I would do this is I would front load and I'd make a bunch of oxygen generators. So like maybe... Where are my O2 generators at? There they are. So basically I would do something like this over here possibly. If I can make that turn the corner, we might be able to do like a secondary back bottom base down here. There we go. All the parts are sort of here already. I'm sure it'll work out. Constructor bot, CNT14, what are you doing? You need to go get fixed. Like, you are in terrible shape right now. And I built you an auto doctor and everything for robots. Look, over here, CR19 gets it. Why don't you get it? CR19 went straight there, and he was like, hey, dog, I need to get myself fixed. You, on the other hand, are, like, basically broken right now. Oh, man. How are we doing on parts, by the way? It looks like we got enough. Power's sort of on the edge where if we don't get enough, like... wind over the course of like a 1 week period or whatever, it finally catches up with us. But for the most part, it seems okay to me. How is water usage looking? 29 out of 42. So we could still use some expansion over here as well. Let's go ahead and I'll probably just drag this out. Since I've got so many materials anyways, I'm not going to concern myself really heavily with conserving too much. But we'll go like 2 more water generators over here. Attach those guys. At which point I'm going to start building bigger stuff so that we use less parts. I realize that the smaller stuff is more efficient. But we've been having trouble keeping up with parts lately. And so when it comes down to it, I need people working on stuff like 90% of the time. We're also having a lot of trouble keeping semiconductors in production. But I keep hoping... Oh, look at that. He finished a driller bot. That's good. Looks like he's working on one over here, but it's a really slow process, so don't rely on it to happen quickly. Got 3 driller bots, 2 driller bots, so we got to do like 5 more, and then we can swap it on over to carrier bots and things like that. I think carrier bots probably the most useful thing we could go after right now, just because I see a lot of astronauts. We have a lot of spacesuits. I was thinking about spacesuits the other day and their construction. It really seems inefficient to me. Like, it's odd that you have to carry around a condominium on your back just to get things to function. I feel like we're using 1970s technology in space, and I assume that's because we actually are, because NASA gets no funding. We fund 1,000 other idiotic projects, but we can't fund NASA. Like, well, you know, going to space and finding another place just in case we ever get hit by a big space rock and humanity gets wiped out seems like a important thing to me, but I guess, you know, humans, we're not known for setting things up for the future. We're known for living in the moment and then kind of like trying to adapt in the last 48 hours. And then sending Bruce Willis up to blow himself up. And then he's like, I'm gonna do this because you love my daughter. And he puts his hand on the glass. He's like, Daddy! And everybody gets all sad. And then also Aerosmith. Now wanna close your eyes. Maybe to feel the same 'cause I miss you, baby. And the day when you miss you. That song played non-stop. After Armageddon came out, that song played like non-stop for years. They still play it all the time, and I hate it. Every time it comes on, I'm just like, ugh, Steven Tyler, shut up. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you, Steven Tyler. Nobody likes Aerosmith. You were just shitty rock for people that can't listen to stuff that you can actually headbang to. That's it. You're like a light sauce version of Guns N' Roses. Like, well, I could listen to Guns N' Roses, but I have a real addiction to not rocking, so, you know, I guess I'll listen to Aerosmith. Why not? Let's see here. Well, I think we're just going to have to wait this out. Let's go ahead and speed up time. You know, I sort of wonder why we're even bothering with the space base if we have chronological powers. I don't know. I'd be up to some evil shit in like 38 seconds if you gave me like powers over time. I'd be doing all kinds of terrible stuff. It'd be embarrassing for the human race as a whole. Aliens would come. They'd be like, so one of your people has super awesome space chronological powers, and we notice that he doesn't really use them for good. And I'd be like, oh yeah, dude, goodness is overrated. Forget that noise. Why would you ever bother? I have a thing that gives me dominion over others, where I can control time. I'm like, hey, you should give me what I want, or I'm going to rewind things back to the 60s, and you're not going to exist. And then I'm going to go in normal time all the way back to here, and you're going to have to wait forever to exist again. How inconvenient. Why are we not getting any trade ships? All right, you mooches, get out of my base. I don't want any more colonists. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't need you anymore. I don't need you, and I don't want you, and I don't love you. I'm like, wow, this seems a little bit harsh. I mean, I just got here. The brochure says, I don't need you, I don't want you, I don't love you, get to work or die. I'm like, yeah, more. No, don't shoot my medic! Oh, you guys are dicks. Wow. They are way better at shooting than we are. Like, the body count is real. You guys had 3 guys. You couldn't shoot him like once? You couldn't score a headshot? Man, you guys are killing me right now. Killing me, Smalls. So I'll probably just sell a bunch of this stuff. And then I will also take your space cash, because it sounds way more awesome than my space cash. Which isn't actually worth that much anymore. Somebody needs to find Tom. I feel bad for the poor guy. He's got to be around. Alright, so now I got to reopen immigration and just hope that we get the thing that we need. Although I've got like 14 guards. I mean, do I really need more guards? It's called population control. Trying to make sure that nothing goes wrong here. I built 2 airlocks on this side. I'm just going to explain it now because I don't know if it happened in the episode where I explained all the things. I skipped it. And so anyways, I built 2 of these so that they could load this easier. It's inefficient, but it's a Hydra strategy. I imagine that Hydras make hissing noises. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Nobody ever actually told me whether or not Hydras make hissing noises, but I sort of felt like they should. So what should I do over here? I don't really know what I should do. I do think it's a good idea just to use O2 connectors to just take this out as far as possible. I'm going to try a new building strategy off this way. I'm going to make like a spine of O2 collectors that just runs off into the distance. And then once I do that, I might put an airlock on this side and an airlock over here. Just allow them to transfer in wherever they want to go. Still. Wow, we are really out of power right now. Luckily, it's the beginning of the day, so that's pretty sweet. Hopefully we get some wind or something. Let's go ahead and work on our power issues. So if I do like an extra large, like super awesome grande edition of this solar panel right here, how is that going to affect my life? Is it going to affect it positively? I mean, that's 100 more power right there. Technically, it's 160 more power so that we can fill these little bastards up quicker. Which one's filling up? See, that's not filling up fast enough. That's filling up at a very mundane sort of crawl. And so anyways, I'm going to wait for things to go better. I will see you on the next episode. This is Planetbase. I hope you enjoy it. It comes out in a couple of days, actually. I think it comes out in 2 or 3 days. I'll see y'all later. Hi to everybody.